We are recording now. Okay, so you join, you make your introduction post, and now we always talk about a 3-3 rule. And your 3-3 rule is technically a 3-3-3 rule. It's 3 life posts, 3 product posts, and 3 posts you would have made whether you were a part of ItWorks or not. Your first one is, so your life posts. Obviously, if you joined yesterday, you don't need to get online and be like, oh my God, I just made $2,000. I'm so excited. This is so easy, blah, 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 because you're lying. And people, one, you don't want to do that because that makes you shady. And 2, people see right through that. Like, you can't just start a company yesterday and then all of a sudden you're making $1 million. Like, it just doesn't work. This is a business that takes effort and consistency. So typical life posts when you first start is just your excitement. Like, I used to do things like, if you guys read our chat, like sometimes we'll like gear off of like always being work related, and it might be like funny stuff. People share like a funny story or things like that. So you could post like online, like, oh my gosh, my team is so funny. We did A, B, and C. Somebody said this. You could send screenshots of the chat, like whatever you want, as long as it's not like personal. So just like your excitement. Then you have like that you're working anywhere. Whether you have kids, whether you're with, your significant other, when you're on the couch, you're at the park, take a picture of wherever you are. Take a picture with your feet up on the couch. Take a picture of your kids playing in your living room floor. And if you are literally looking at your phone, reading something that we wrote in the chat, if you're making a post, if you're answering somebody who liked something on your page, you are working. You need to understand that, like, your phone is now your job. So when you are touching that phone, even if you're scrolling through social media and liking stuff, that's building relationships. You are working. So take notice of that when you do those things, and just make a quick post about it. Like, so excited, like I could be earning an income while I'm just playing with my kids. Like, I can't wait for the day, a year from now, my goal to be home full time with my kids. I can't wait to take that vacation I've been dying to take, things like that. Like, be real, be honest. People are going to see through if you're lying, and life posts are like immensely good for doing things like that. And then let's say your paycheck came in and on the commission, and it was $60. You made $60. Like, first of all, pat yourself on the back because you just made $60 from your phone talking to people and posting on social media. Now you made $60. Assume that your water bill is $50 something. Maybe you're using your ItWorks pay just to put right into your savings account. But your ItWorks pay was $60. So in hindsight, you could have paid that water bill. So you could post about that, like how your ItWorks commission just took care of your water bill for the month, how it just put gas in your car. Those are things that are realistic. They're going to speak to somebody. Like, think of why, what it was that you saw being posted and what drew you in. I'm sure it wasn't some big like poster that said, oh, join my team for $99 and get a free box of wraps. Like, no, you're here to make money. Like, we're in a business to make money. So you're going to appeal to people when you are making an income and it's, legitimately paying for things, helping you save. It's going to like speak to somebody like on a higher level, like a more serious level. Things like, your groceries, your gas, things like that. Okay, so those are your life posts. Your product posts, this is where you want to be mindful of how many product posts you do, because the reason that people get so annoyed with us in this business is because you joined yesterday and then all of a sudden you go to your Facebook page and there's 400 before and after pictures on your Facebook. No, like, you don't want to do things like that, because all that's going to do is cause people to say that you're annoying. They're not even going to believe what you're saying. And it's just going to be like way too much, way too fast. So that's why we work on this 3-3 rule. So you have your product posts. Products are going to be, your product posts are going to be your before and after pictures, you taking pictures of the products, you taking pictures with the products, you showing your teammates with the products, your own customers with the products. Those are going to be your product posts. So to break these up, I do my life post, a product post, whatever post, a life post, a product post, or whatever post. And this way, you're not coming up on your feed like, the new poster child for ItWorks. Like, it's more natural the way you do it. So your product posts, your before and after could be as simple as, somebody has a wrap before and after. Keep your captions really like exciting. Like, if you are really, really overly excited, you're going to cause somebody to be averagely excited, you know? So if you're like, holy crap, Amanda just got these awesome results. I'm so excited for her. This is only one wrap out of her, 12-week wrap challenge. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what she looks like in 12 weeks. If you want to take part in my wrap challenge, a 12-week wrap challenge, I can help you save $40 off. I can help you save 40% off, like whatever it is. Just make it like really enticing like that. So you want it to be super, super exciting, and then go from there, so then, and then you have your product post. So Lauren, and then you have your, if you take a picture with your product, I don't know, here's a mouse that I have. Okay. So here's like my hair, skin, and nails bottle. Like, oh my God, starting my own mermaid challenge, really so excited. Like, who wants to do it with me? Like, can't wait to see my own results, blah, 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 blah. So you're taking it with it. And then you can do this with your customers, like if your customers feel comfortable taking pictures with the products, like sometimes that's really good. Or you could use a picture of one of your teammates doing it and pretend they're your customer. Just be like, if you took one of mine, for example, you could say like, Amanda just became one of my customers and blah, 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 blah. But obviously don't tag me, because then everybody that pops up on my feed is going to know you're lying, because I'm not your customer. I do the business with you. So, but you could do that if we don't have mutual friends, or you don't have mutual friends with somebody else. I know there's an entire thread in Wrap Warriors and possibly even in Boom Time of people using the products. So you can use things like that. So those are your main posts. And then of course, the other half of that 3 rule is whatever you would post anyway. For me, I basically incorporate ItWorks somehow into every single one of my posts, whether it's considered to be a life post or not, just because I've become so naturally involved in incorporating this in my business, in my life entirely. Another thing that I do is interactive posts. These are really good. And I don't know if you guys saw in the chat, but earlier Libby said she posted something like, send me a picture of your fur baby or something like that. And she said it got a lot of attention. Like, those are really good, because the more that people interact with you and you interact with them, the more you're going to pop up on their feed, and the more posts they're going to see of your ItWorks posts. So I do things like, I do like funny pictures. I do like, yesterday I posted something about how I eat really healthy in the morning, and then all of a sudden at the end, I'm eating like 150 like Tostito bites and bagel bites and things like that. And that got a lot of attention. People were saying like, oh my God, this is me. This is so funny. I got so many likes on it, like whatever. So that's going to entice people to start looking at my page, because they start to see my personality and we can relate to one another. So interactive posts are really good too. So just keep those in mind. They're good to bring business. Also, I know that Lauren shared with us, she did like that like duck, duck, goose game, but it was like for something else, I don't remember, but that got a lot of attention too. She had like almost 500 or more comments on it, and that's going to keep flooding people's news feeds, and they're just going to see like, what is she talking about? What is a wrap? What is a facial wrap? And they're going to go to her page, and then they're going to start looking around. Yeah, so those are interactive posts. So obviously you guys see I share posts in Diamonds in the Making all the time, already with pre-scripted captions. I share those in there at any time of the night. Like I could or any time of the day. I can wake up with my daughter at like 4 in the morning, and I might like share some posts that I wrote or found like a top income earner posting. That doesn't mean like when I post it, I'm saying like post this literally right now. Because obviously posting something at 4 in the morning, it's not going to get much attention for you. So don't do that. But I do it so you can save them. I use what's called Hootsuite. There's other things like it's published, cinch, share, something other. There's, I'm sure, a whole lot of like options in that area. But what it is, it's like it gives you the ability to preset all of your posts. So you have your post set in this Hootsuite, so you could go in and I can set posts from now till the end of the month, till the end of the year. So I'm sorry, I'm like reading like the things that are popping up, but I think Kristen is handling it. Thank you. So I do that, like, so you guys can have all these posts like lined up. Of course, I can't write your life posts for you because I don't know what you do on a day-to-day basis. And I don't think that it would work if you posted a picture of my daughter playing in her playmat. So, you know, it's like, oh, my kid's playing on the playmat, and somebody's going to think you're crazy. So, you know, your life posts have to be like more individual to you, but product posts are very general. So I share them constantly when I make them. So when you go to Hootsuite, you just, you know, you can upload the picture, whatever caption you want, and then you choose for the time that you want it to go off. Facebook, it'll post automatically. You don't have to approve anything. It just sends it right to Facebook, and all of a sudden it's posted. It does make it public immediately. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that can be edited to change. Mine always end up public. But on Instagram, it kind of like sends you an alert, and then you have to click like open an Instagram, like, and then you paste the caption. So I actually don't set anything to go directly to Facebook for that reason. I just do it for Instagram, and then I go to Facebook on my own. So it also doesn't link, you know, Instagram photos, or it doesn't say Hootsuite album. It's like I do it by itself separately. I hope that makes sense. So that's all I have for posting. Does anybody have any more specific questions on posting? I don't know. I'm gonna like check the team page to see if anybody like did that later. But if you have anything now from what I just said, I hope there's a chat because I can't see everybody on one screen. You can unmute yourself if you have a question. But anyway, so I'll just move on. Okay. So now you have your post. You made, let's say you posted 6 times in the day. Well, now maybe you have 200 friends. So maybe nobody liked your post. Maybe nobody liked all of your posts. Maybe only your teammates liked your post. Don't get discouraged, because that just happens. You know, you just started. People are just going to start watching you. They might not want you to know that they're looking, but that's the point of being consistent. But now assume people did like your post. Just because you're posting, that's not asking. You have to message your likes. So I keep it really short and really simple. If somebody liked a life post, I shoot them a message and I say, you know, hey, whatever their name is, thanks for the love on my post. Were you interested in learning how to make an additional income from your phone like I do? I keep it very, very short and simple and straight to the point. If they like a product post, same concept, like, hey, you know, Amanda, thanks for the love on my post. Were you interested in learning more about the wraps? Were you interested in learning more about the hair, skin, and nails? Like very, very short and simple. And they'll say, yes, no, maybe, I think I've heard of it, like whatever the case is. If they say no, no big deal. Okay, you know, thanks anyway. Like, you know, I'm always around if you have any questions. If they say yes, just go right into it. I have pre-scripted stuff. I think I say that too later. Like I save a lot of like of the same stuff. I want to make sure I wrote it in my notes. I do. Okay, but just to like do a like brief overview, you're gonna have repetitive conversations with different people. So it makes your life a lot easier if you just start saving your scripts now, because people are going to ask you the same questions in very, very small different ways. If your conversation is like completely different than every time you've had before, I would give you like my next paycheck, because that's just never going to happen. You're always going to have the same exact conversations with different people. They're going to ask the same questions. So if somebody said, yeah, you know, I want to know about the wraps, like I have another short and sweet script that I go to. It says, you know, the wraps are just a all natural cream infused lotion. It's on, you know, a nice cloth. You put it on, it absorbs into your skin to tighten, tone, and firm in 45 minutes. Boom. That's like all there is to it. They may ask more questions. They may ask more in-depth questions, but your constant answers, just save them to make it easier on your life. So those are your messages, okay? So now you've posted, you've messaged, and now maybe you had a conversation with somebody who was asking a lot of questions, and then the conversation died off. They didn't answer anymore. Maybe you gave them the price and they read your message and stopped answering you. This is where your follow-ups come into play. So this is your 3 big major business buildings: posting, messaging, and following up. The fortune is literally in the follow-up, because it is very far and few between that somebody is going to order from you or join your team on the spot. They're looking for information and they want to think about it. Take yourself into consideration, whether it was with this business or anything else you do in life that's going to cost you money. Unless they were watching for a very long time, or knew that they wanted something similar to what you're advertising, they're going to need time to think about it. So you do follow-ups. The way I do my follow-ups are 3 days, 5 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and then bi-monthly. And that's how I do it till like death do us part, until they tell me no, like, no thanks, you know, I changed my mind, no thanks, whatever. And then I still might ask, like, what's holding you back? Why did you change your mind? You know, because then it could be like, you know, somebody told me that they didn't lose weight from the wraps. Okay, well, here's why they didn't lose weight, because it's not for weight loss. So I kind of still like want to find out their issue with it, but that's how I do my follow-ups. And then, so you need to get yourself a planner. If you think that you can remember every conversation you have, you can't, or you're not talking to enough people. So I constantly, my planner is right here at all times. I have it on me at all times, and it always has a pen and a pencil in there at all times. I'm like planner obsessed. I got mine from Amazon for cheap. You can go to Staples, and then they're also business write-offs. So do yourself the solid and go get a planner. Because now that's how I do my follow-ups, assuming that the conversation died. But maybe you gave somebody a price and they were like, oh my God, that's such a great deal, but I don't get paid until Friday. I don't get paid until next Friday. I get paid on Wednesday. Whatever they say, write them in for that date that they give you. And then when you follow up with them, again, very short, very simple. If this was a day that they gave me, I'll message them like, hey, Amanda, it's your day. I'm so excited for you. You ready to start that, 90-day wrap challenge that we talked about? Boom. That's it. Very short, very simple. If it's for the business, I'm so excited. Today's your day. I can't wait for you to join and meet all the teammates. Boom. It's just exciting. You want to make them excited because you're excited. If they never gave me a date, if the conversation just died, I will message them and be like, hey, did you have any other questions about the business, about the wraps, about whatever, or were you ready to get started? And I'll just say it, just so I'm giving them kind of like an ultimatum where they have to force to answer it. If they don't, that's fine. Guess what? In 5 more days, I'm going to message them again. And then in 7 days, I'm going to do it again, because you got to think like they open that doorway. You're not being annoying. You are following up, and you're not like banging on their door. You're not like threatening to kill their dogs. Like, you're just asking. So if you are just asking, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's one thing if they say no and then you keep, pushing people. Like, no, you don't want to do that. If they say no, they say no. But there are so many times where somebody messages me and I look at it, and then I just like, my daughter starts crying and I put my phone down. I do it in the team chat all the time. I'll start writing something and then I won't even press send. Like, I think that I did and it didn't click, or like whatever the case is. So I kind of just put it into my assumption that they read it and forgot to answer me. You don't know. And then there have been people who are like, oh my gosh, I meant to say A, B, and C, and oh, this happened over my weekend and I got so distracted. Like, you don't know. So you just follow up. I think like statistically people say like it takes like something abnormal, like 6 to 12 times for touches. They say it's like touches for somebody to like dive in. And whether that's like product related or business related, I've had some of you that have joined this team that I talked to 14 months ago. There are people I talked to 2 weeks ago. Like, everybody is different. So I call it a believe-a-meter. That's what I call it. But this is why you need to be consistent, because if you are really, really excited about everything that you're doing right now for 7 days, and then maybe on the 8th day, that person you talked to decided like, I'm going to do this, and then they go to your page and you just like walked off the planet, they're going to either assume that you stopped and they're going to go find somebody else to join. They're going to want somebody that's actually going to lead them. They are going to go buy that product from somebody that they know is still doing this business. So that is why you need to be consistent. Oh my gosh, I see Wyatt. Oh, and he smiles. Oh my gosh, I can't. So that's why you just need to be consistent, because people are going to thrive off your excitement, and your posting is also going to be technically what you could call a follow-up. Because if I was thinking about buying the wraps and I knew that you messaged me yesterday and maybe you weren't going to message me for another 2 weeks, and then I saw it come down my newsfeed and I was like, oh crap, she messaged me yesterday. Oh, I meant to answer her. Like, let me go do that now. Oh my gosh, why it's all up in the screen. So maybe like you saw that and then you went and you were like, oh my God, you're right, I have to do this. So though your followers can essentially be or your posting can be follow-ups for you too. I'm like getting distracted. Lauren, stop. I'm about to like switch my screen. He is so stinking cute. It's like so distracting. Okay. So we've gotten product posting, messaging, follow-ups. Okay. Another thing now. So when you first start, you may not have like a lot of followers. That's fine. Eventually you're going to start building that business. And I think I go over that too. Yes. Okay. But before you do that, now let's assume you have 1,000 followers. This is also why people get so confused that they think they're going to be super annoying. If you have even 500 followers or friends or 1,000 or anything, or you know what, you have 100 friends. You have 100 friends right now. But guess what? Your 100 friends probably have 100 of their own on their page. At the very least, they have 100 friends. So what does that mean? That means they're not going to see every single post you make. So this is why we post, your goal is to want to post like 10 times in a day. Like most top income earners post like 10 times a day. I probably do about 6, maybe 7, 8, 10 if it's a really good day and I'm doing something super exciting. But I do about 6 posts a day. So now you posted your stuff, but there's not going to be a lot of people that see it. Let's assume you had 100 friends. I think it's really like 5% might see on your feed, unless people like keep liking it, then it's going to keep going down into like other people's feeds. But so what does that mean? That means 5 people just saw your post. If you had 100 friends, 5. Okay, and then you make another post and maybe a different 5 people saw it. It's going to be highly unlikely that same people are going to keep seeing your post. You're not being annoying unless somebody's deliberately watching you because they're making a decision if they want to do this or not. But you're not being annoying. The reason we post so much is because the way that social media works now is it goes on what they assume you're going to want to see. So you need to keep posting so you could be what somebody wants to watch. You have to be somebody that's exciting. You have to be like, so when you're talking about those rap results, like you're so pumped up for your customers, and then everybody's like, wow, like she really cares, and do really care. I'm not saying be fake, like genuinely, like I want to scream our products from the rooftops because I genuinely love them and I love this business and I know what it can do for people. And so I like live, breathe, and throw up, like it works everything. So people like looked up at me like, no, I don't like vomit regularly. I just get really excited. So my point is that the next part, you want to do what we call cold messaging. And we began calling it online blitzing because cold messaging just sounds so harsh. But if you're cold messaging, a cold message means that this person never liked a post of yours. You and this person have never talked, but you have a relationship as far as you guys are friends. This person is following you. Ask messaging. Nice. Oh, there is a chat. Good. Okay. Okay. So this is you're getting out there. This person, they probably maybe never saw your post, or they have seen your post and they've been too afraid to like anything. They've been too afraid to reach out. I get that so much. Literally just yesterday, I have a girl that wants to order wraps now. She's heading towards a weight loss, and she's going to lose a lot of weight, and she's afraid of that extra skin. So she wants to simultaneously use our wraps while she's working out, which is the ideal purpose for our wraps. So she was like, I was actually just getting ready to message you. I want to get the wraps, but I get paid on, I think she said you get paid on like the 30th. So I was like, okay, that's great. Like, do you have any questions for me? And then I just wrote her in for the 30th. So on the 30th, I'm going to follow up with her. But she had said, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to message you. I've been meaning to ask you. And maybe if I would have messaged her a couple days before that, when she got paid on the 15th and didn't pay like all of her excess, things and went and splurged on A, B, and C, she might have been my customer just a couple days ago instead. So you want to get messaging, and same concept. If somebody says no thanks, all right, no problem. I'm always here if you have any questions. If people say, hell yeah, like what products do you have, whatever, then, we send the product list. I work a very, very simple cold message. I got it from Cassie Montoya. She is an absolute beast in this business when it comes to customers. She promoted to Presidential Diamond in January, and she signed like almost, I don't know, like 80 to 90 customers in one month. And she, you know, with the go bonuses that are happening, she got $100,000 bonus, guys, in January. $100,000. Think about what you would do right now if you had Presidential Diamond and got $100,000 bonus. That makes me want to throw up. See, that does it for me. But in all honesty, she got almost 100 customers in 1 month using this script that I share with you guys every day. And it's just like, hey, love, you know what? I don't even know what it is off the top of my head now. And I send it so much, you would think I'd like know it by the back of my hand. I can tell you in 1 second. It is very simple. And it is, and I can put this in the chat if anybody wants it for later. Hey, love, I know this is totally random, but I need new pictures or testimonies for my 2017 portfolio, and I have spots for a 40% off discount. You can try any product of ours. Would you be interested? Then they might already know. Like, there have been girls that have like, I've been watching, you know, I've been interested in the cleanse. Can you tell me more about it? And I just tell them more about it. I give them all the answers. I answer their questions, and then I talk about pricing. And we go from there. And that is just your easy doorway. It's how you are going to bring in more potentials. It's going to make you feel a lot better, because maybe not everybody is liking your post, but I guarantee you they are watching if you are doing your 3-3 rule. They are getting an interest sparked in them, and they want to know, but they might be a little bit too afraid to reach out. So this is why we do cold messaging. I aim to do 100 every single day. But on Instagram, I'm also, which I'll get into next, I'm constantly building my business. So I think I have like over 6,500 followers. If you don't have that many, make your goal to be a little bit smaller. Make 20 people a day that you're going to message, 25 people a day, 50, 75, I don't know, 23, whatever your favorite number is. Do that every single day. And then keep building your business so you have more people to keep messaging. So that is online blitzing. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Going once, going twice. Okay. So next is going to be your like social media training, more so. So starting with Instagram, a lot of top income earners do get majority, including myself and some other leaders on this team, majority of our business comes from Instagram, just because it's not as, I feel like Instagram is not as personal as, oh my gosh, there's another little boy like just all up in the face. Amanda, your son is too cute. Okay, so all these little kids are like, oh, I still have baby fever, guys. My kid's downstairs. Okay, so Instagram training. It's a little bit less personal, I feel like, than Facebook. So it's easier to branch out to people you don't know. Facebook, I worked it when I had a warm market. Well, I actually never really had a warm market. I'll take that back. Just so all of y'all know, I basically started this business with no support. My own best friend and I got into a super big fight when I started, and I didn't let that stop me. I just told her to shove it. And, you know, now, you know, she tried to rap like months later after I joined, and she like absolutely fell in love. So people will come back to you, like, just so you know. And, you know, my dad ordered from me for the first time in January, and I joined in November of 2015. And my mom got hair, skin, and nails at like December 2016. So I was already in this business plus 1 year before my own parents ordered from me. So just keep in mind, I had no warm market. I built this business with literally almost all strangers, or like people who I may have known and had like mutual friends. But if you don't have a warm market, that's okay, because there's billions of people in this world, and that is the beauty of running this business on social media. Both Amanda and I like want to like scream this from the rooftops, have customers in Australia, which I think is like thebomb.com, just saying. Okay, so Instagram. When I told you, when people like your posts, you want to message them something like really short and sweet. On Instagram, you can send the person the picture that they liked, which I do all the time. Just to kind of give them like a reminder as to why you are messaging them and that they did like something of yours. So I message and I just send the picture. If you're looking at the picture on your phone, I don't know if any of you guys have your phone out and you want to like follow along if you're not sure what I'm talking about. If you go to Instagram and you like click on any picture, you're going to see it looks like a little kite. There's a heart, there's a little comment sign, and then it looks like a kite. And then you click that, and then it says send to, and you can just type in the person's username, and then you can send the message like attached to it right there, and then it goes off into their DM just from that like point there. So that's what I do all the time. And then they might go, no, I just like the picture or whatever, and that's totally fine too, because Instagram is just a reel. People 9 times out of 10 are just liking just so you like their post back, but that's fine. But then you could think of it maybe like a cold message, like you still asked, and now they're going to be a little bit intrigued to keep like seeing what you're doing. So that's what I do all the time with that. The next thing is like you really want to build your relationships, because Instagram is so much more less personable, and people probably follow like hundreds and hundreds of people. You are literally not going to come up on their newsfeed if you do not keep posting or you do not keep building relationships. So what I do is, I constantly add people every single day. But when I have a conversation with somebody about a product, about the business, about whatever it is, I immediately go to their page and I turn on their post notifications. When you go to somebody's page, in the top right corner, you're going to see 3 little dots, and you can click right there, turn on post notifications. This is so I know every time that person makes a post. And I'm going to go and I'm going to like it. Not immediately, because I don't want them to think like I'm a stalker. But on your phone, you'll get notifications, and they'll kind of just like pop up. So at the end of the night, I'll just go through and I'll look at all the posts that people made. And if I really like it, I'll leave a cute comment. If it's just, whatever to me, they made a post and it was funny or whatever, I'll just like it. But just so like the more that I interact with them, they'll interact with me. And then we'll build that trust and they'll know me. Because like I said, I don't know anybody on my Instagram for the most part personal. So they need to know I'm a real person. I have a real personality, and for them to build trust into me. So I do this with everybody. Okay, so next is, like I said, I add people. So some people want to know, like, where do you find the people that you add? And so many people, I think Heather said, I'm going to go back and look, but Heather said something like she's got all these younger people like adding her. So you want to add from pages that you like personally, that you have a relationship with, or some like relatable passion for, I guess you could say. So things like celebrities and bands. When it comes to celebrities, I would not suggest people like, I don't know, Justin Bieber or like Kim Kardashian, because yes, then you're primarily going to be finding like young people when you go and follow on the pages. But I don't know, like, think like who you like, but just be mindful of the following that artist might have. If you're adding somebody like Guns N' Roses, like a band, like, no, I don't really think that any teeny boppers are going to be loving up on Guns N' Roses for the most part. So you're pretty much safe bet there. So just be mindful of that. So your celebrities and bands, if you watch HGTV, if you're all about DIY, if you have a wedding soon, you could definitely relate with weddings. Go on to like David's Bridal, food, cooking shows, recipes, Food Network. All of these things have Instagrams. Home Goods, TJ Maxx, they all have their own Instagram. So what I do is I go to whatever page I'm feeling like adding from. Let's say I'm at TJ Maxx. Love me some TJ Maxx. They're gonna have posts just like we do. They post pictures. I go to their first picture, and I'm going to add every single person that liked that. And now 9 times out of 10, they have like 4.8 thousand million followers or whatever it is. So on their pictures with the likes, they have a couple thousand people liking it. I'm not going to be able to add a couple thousand people in one sitting, but I'm just going to go down and I'm just literally going to click follow all the way down. And I'm going to do this until Instagram tells me I can't do it anymore. You could probably add like a few hundred people in less than a minute. And then Instagram is going to tell you, okay, that's enough. Like it's going to literally stop letting you click follow. And that's fine. And then a couple hours from then, it'll let you do it again. But I do this at least once a day. When I was working full time, I did it while I was peeing in the bathroom, and I would go pee and I would just sit there and I would pick my page and I would go down, and I did this every single day. So you want to make sure that you're following, but on the same token, you want to make sure you're unfollowing. I have an iPhone. I know that Androids do not have this feature or do not have this app, but I use an app called the Cleaner app. So at the end of every other day, I go in and I unfollow everybody that didn't follow me back. because obviously I don't want to be following, 11,000 people and 11 are following me. That's going to come off really spammy. I never let the number that I'm following be more than the number that is following me. Always want to have those be dead even, or that there are more following you than you're following. So just be really mindful of that, because then that's going to lessen the amount of people that will follow you back. So on the other hand, I also keep my page private. I obviously, I don't post anything on the internet that I don't want, taken out, not posting like any inappropriate pictures, but I still don't want people to see my page before I can see theirs. So I add everybody under the sun, but when they request me back, I'm going to go on and I'm going to look at their page. And I just want to, first, I'm going to make sure that they're not a distributor on ItWorks nonetheless. I'm going to make sure they're not with a competing company. And then I'm going to just make sure that they're of age. Everybody else is fine. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to probably like a couple pictures, and then I'm going to comment on at least one. And that's already opening that doorway, and I'm building a relationship right from the get-go. And then I'm going to accept them that they could see my page. And I will do this, and it's a little bit more time consuming, but I will do this throughout the day. I will be adding people back. And that's already just opening the door to start building relationship with new followers. So that's just, take these with a grain of salt. This is how I run my business, and just letting you guys know. Another thing I do is in my bio. I do not have ItWorks anywhere. I used to have like fitness, like fitness, whatever, just as my little like segue into the business, but I don't have like anything like ItWorks distributor. I don't have my website. I don't have anything like that whatsoever, just because I want them to know me. I incorporate ItWorks into my life, not vice versa. So when I post about the business, I keep it very natural and I keep it very welcoming. They're not going to go to my page and I don't look like a billboard of ItWorks. So I do it specifically in that way, and especially because I don't like to put my website on stuff, because 9 times out of 10, people have no idea what any product of ours does, what will actually help them. 9 times out of 10, if you ask anybody who thinks that they know what a wrap does, they're going to tell you it's for weight loss, and they are so wrong. So if somebody wants wraps who's planning to lose 50 pounds and they go to your website without talking to you to order wraps, they're going to be pissed off and they're going to spread bad vibes about ItWorks because they didn't lose weight when they used the wraps. And obviously that was never going to happen from the beginning. So this is why I message people and I talk to them and I find out their goals, because, then at the other hand, we all know like ThermaFit is thermogenically infused. And if you're not working out while you use it, it could alter your results and you could actually gain weight. So I'm not going to offer somebody to ThermaFit who tells me like, I'm a couch potato, but I want to lose 20 pounds. Like, it's not really going to benefit you in any way. And I'm not going to offer you to use ThermaFit. I'm going to go with Fat Fighters and the Cleanse or the greens or maybe the shake. Like, there's a lot of other products. So you just have to actually talk to people. Okay. So that's all I got for Instagram, I think, for the most part. That's basically what I do on Instagram. And then Facebook is pretty similar. But it is, Facebook is a little bit more personal. You can't just sit there and add like dozens and dozens of people all at the same time. First of all, I think Facebook caps you out at like 5,000 friends anyway. So people are more commonly, when you add strangers, they're more common to message you and say like, hey, do I know you? And when I get that, I keep it really, always me, short and simple. I'm just like, no, I don't know you personally. I just enjoy meeting new people. And that's the bottom line. I don't even say I'm trying to grow my business. I don't say, oh, I'm looking to network. Because at the end of the day, like, we could never talk about ItWorks, or they could never want a product. They could still be super cool. I could still love all of the things that they post. So, like I said, I incorporate ItWorks into my life, not vice versa. So I'm not just going to like banish people from my life who are like anti-ItWorks, anti-ItWorks is different. If they're like posting like negative stuff, yeah, I'm going to block them because I don't need those vibes to see either. But if they're just like, I'm not interested in the products, like, that's fine. It's not for everybody. It's not a crime. So for Facebook, what I do is I add myself into groups. I got added into like hundreds of mom groups when I was pregnant and then after I had my daughter. So I'm in a lot, but I don't post inside the group chats about the business because they're like vultures and they will like freak out if you do that. But what I do is I build relationships while I'm inside of the group. I might ask a question that I already know the answer to for the sake of just having conversations with people. So I'll ask, I don't know, what color is the sky? And then it might like cause like this, a big like thread to go through, oh, the sky is blue. Oh, but I do this, but I think the sky is green, and blah, 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 blah. And people are just commenting about their opinions. Or to be more like specific, I might say like, what height chair do you guys like the best? Looking for a new height chair. Maybe I'm not looking for a new height chair. I just want to talk to people. So they'll comment and then I'll just go back and forth with them. And when people answer me in that thread, I'll answer them back and we might have a conversation like a little bit on the thing, and I'll just add them to my page. And that's it. We've already gotten that relationship. They've talked to me about whatever. They know I'm a real person, and I add them. So now they're on my page, and I'm not going to go and message them immediately like, hey, now you're on my page. I've got you right where I want you. No, I'm going to do what I do all the time. I'm going to keep that relationship. I'm going to keep building it. I'm going to let them watch what I'm doing. And they could want it or they could not. And in a couple, times from now, if they start liking posts, I'm going to message them and just ask them. So I do this with mom groups. I'm in a group for just living in Charlotte in North Carolina. There's like food groups. If you like, I think there's a group specifically for like avocados or something. You can go into an avocado group if you really like avocados. There's I typically also will steer away from like super like fitness pages just because those can be hit or miss. Like some people are really anti-supplements and some people are like totally for supplements. So, if they're like bikini competitors, that's not really my typical market. So I just, we have nothing in common. So I'm not going to have like bikini competitors on my page when I'm taking pictures of like Taco Bell, we're just not going to click. So, think of things like that. Like, what do you have in common? Like, if you're just get yourself into groups, like whatever your interests are. If you have kids that are in modeling or, I don't know, those like competitions for like little kids, like the toddler things like that. If you have kids that do that, or maybe your kid's a dancer, or you're a dancer, or you love football and you're a Giants fan, like things like that. Just add yourself into pages and just talk to people, meet friends in there. Then, so similarly to what I do with my Instagram, if I'm trying to build relationships with people, for the same token, I have 5,000 friends, or at least very close to 5,000 friends on Facebook. I am not going to see every single person I'm trying to build a relationship with. It's just never going to happen. So if I'm talking to somebody very seriously about joining a business or about using a product, I'm going to do the see first option. So that's going to force them every time they post something to come up on my newsfeed and be the first thing that I see when I get onto my newsfeed. And I do this because I'm going to comment on them. I'm going to keep building that relationship. And the more you comment on their stuff, the more your stuff is going to show up on their feed. Because then Facebook is just going to assume that you want to see their stuff. And then that's going to be a good business builder for you. Another big tool that I found a lot of success with is going live. It seems completely intimidating and everybody's so scared to do it, but I have seen some really just the things that people go live when they're doing is just, I have no idea like why people are doing that live. So don't feel silly to do it yourself. Go live, talk about why you joined the business. I usually get inspired from going live when I have somebody give me a really bad excuse to not either join the business or get a product. And that is where I find my inspiration to go live. Or it's just something as simple as I want to tell people of a really cool promo we have, like when the BOGO kits came out. For anybody that was debating on joining the team, those are really big incentives because they're going to get extra products. So it's like kind of like at that point where it's like, why not? If you're going to join tomorrow, you might as well join today and get yourself some extra products. So But yeah, I'll go live and I'll just say, like, you know, I'll answer questions. Like, you know, a lot of the time I get like, well, why, you know, how do you make it look so easy? Well, I do what I teach everybody else to do, but some people just don't do it. I don't do anything different than anybody else does. It's a, you know, if it's not broke, don't break it. I follow the same system that somebody makes $100,000 a month. I'm doing the same thing they are. We have the same 24 hours in every day. No, like nobody can do, there's no secret sauce. There's nothing that, you know, Stephanie Dunn is doing differently than we are. We have the same 24 hours in every single day. And that's just that. So, going live, if you're nervous, you can ask the team. Sometimes I, you know, like right now I have little notes, like, so I know what I'm about to talk about when we go through this training. So if you're going to make a live video, just do it when you have a couple bullet points. Don't like read off a script, but say like, you know, okay, I want to talk about A, B, and C. And I want to make sure, and live videos are just good because they're seeing you as a person. So not only are they going to follow your life posts and the things about your life, they're going to see you and they're going to feel like they're actually talking to you. So live videos are really cool. And then with Facebook, as I mentioned, it's a lot more personal than Instagram. People make statuses. People are on Facebook basically to read things. So that's where you can make like abnormally long posts, and they're more likely to, Kristen, so help me, if you took a picture of me when I look stupid, I can't see what the picture is. If you want to be extra personal on Facebook for reasons like that. And be mindful of what you're talking about. You know, I know like things got really hectic when Trump and Clinton during like politics. No matter, you know, politics is already something that's like the main thing you like don't talk to people about ever. Like, you know, bar talk, just keep it out of like anything. And I feel like your social media should be the exact same way, because all you're going to do is, no matter what you believe and, you know, religion and everything else, you're going to lose yourself some potentials if you're like spewing like negativity. Your Facebook should be like a highlight reel, I guess, of your life. You know, I know that we all have bad days, and that's fine, but you don't want to like start, you know, talking bad about your ex and doing this and doing that and just like hanging your, you know, your dirty laundry out to dry like on your newsfeed. Like, you want to be as positive as possible, because people are going to thrive off your energy. If you start like spewing negativity, it's just gonna, like, you know, why am I gonna watch this girl? She doesn't make my day any better. I'm not, you know, I don't want to be like her because she's so angry at the world. Just keep that stuff off anyway. It just, who wants to read that, you know? So just be extra personal. Make funny statuses, like, you know, just woke up and my dog crapped on the floor, like, whoa, like, here's how I'm starting my day. And it's funny, you know, like, it's still like, you know, you're a little pissed off, but it's, somebody's like, oh, been there, done that, like, oh, just clean vomit off me first thing in the morning because my daughter threw up. Like, who else feels like this? You know, those are just funny and they bring more attention to you. And you could still vent without, like, you know, I don't know, people getting uncomfortable with it. Okay. So now I'm just going to get into like random tips. I think I'm almost done with like everything, and I'm like still on good time. So I'm really proud of myself right now. Okay. So my random tips is what I mentioned before, is save all your scripts. I use OneNote. It's what it's called. It's called OneNote. You can use just your notepad. If you have another app on your phone to use that. But whatever works for you. This is so it's easy, like, because you guys sometimes ask in the group, like, hey, what can I say to this? Well, chances are that somebody a couple hours later is probably going to ask the same thing, and I'm just going to send the same exact thing. So if you guys see it when, like, you know, maybe Kristen asks me, like, hey, what would you say to this response? Or they want an explanation of what hair, skin, and nail does. I'm going to send that. And if you guys see it, just save it to your own phone, and it'll save you the time that you need to ask the group for a good explanation. I make them personal to me. All of my scripts I wrote myself because they sound like me. It's how I would talk if I was having the conversation for the first time ever. So obviously, if I say things like, you know, rad and awesome, and you don't say things like that, just change it. It's only a script. So it's just a general idea of how I talk. So if you send verbatim, just be mindful that that's gonna, you should portray those kind of similarities when you make your own posts, you know what I mean? So they're just scripts, so just be mindful of that too. The next thing is that I don't think that anybody should have the chat muted. I know, and I do know that the chat could get very, very busy sometimes. And I know that it can go late sometimes. And there's people at all time zones all over that we have. But if you wake up in the morning and you forget to turn it back on, you're missing out on so much important information, potentially important information. Like I said, we do steer off into like funny conversations from time to time. But if you are new, I don't think that you should have the chat muted unless, like I said, you're going to sleep and the minute you wake up, you're going to turn it back on. It's just a helpful tool for you. And it's the same thing where people feel silly asking questions sometimes, you know, when somebody first joins, and that's okay. You can message me. You can message me personally. Anybody can message me personally. But you shouldn't feel uncomfortable to talk in the chat because everybody's been new once. Hell, when I started, oh my God, my enroller probably wanted to like throw me down the stairs. I asked literally every question you could ever imagine. Like, how do I spell my own name? Like, I don't know how to answer this. What's my name? Like, I was freaking out when I first started, but I always read the chat. And I did this because if somebody else asked a question that I needed to know, and maybe they were a little bit more strong than I was to ask it in front of like all those people, I didn't have to ask that to my enroller and I already knew it. So I was really excited by that. So I think that if you mute the chat, you're already doing yourself a disservice in this business. And then if you do mute it, make sure when you are going to unmute it, you can go back and scroll to the very top of the last thing that you read. Because we do fun things like raffles and giveaways and contests and challenges. And you just don't want to miss things like that because who doesn't want to win like free products and gift cards and fun things like that I like do spontaneously. So if you do not absolutely have to have the chat muted, don't mute it. That's a very big tip that I have. Next, follow your teammates, follow top income earners, follow me, add me as a friend. If we're not friends on Facebook, go add me. See how I post, see what your teammates post, take my posts, edit them, see how I've been working my business over the last year. You're going to get a sense of that. You know, I'm not like I've said, I'm not going to look like a spammed ItWorks billboard, and you're going to get a feel of how to post, more naturally. And then, you know, a lot of people are like, wow, you said that's so much better than I did. Like, how did, you know, you're so much better at this than me. No, I've just been doing it a lot longer and I've just watched a lot more people and I just do my business every single day. You should see what I said to people when I first started, you know, like, I don't even know. They're like ridiculous messages. I sent like 14 paragraphs to explain one question. Another thing, do not answer questions that were not asked. Keep things as simple as possible. I did that too. I like word vomited all over people when they asked me things. So now I save these scripts to be very simple with people for these reasons. Next, print your chart for the promotion you want to go to. Obviously, if you're a distributor, steer away from the diamond chart. You're not there just yet, but print your Ruby chart. That should be, you know, where you want to get. Your Ruby chart is usually the income people make a goal to get. It's like $500 for the month, and that's typically people want like $200 to $500 when they start this business. So go print your Ruby chart. It's under your eSuite and your document library under products and business building and materials and something like that. And keep that with you. And just keep looking at it every single day. And then when you get that volume and when you have to place it somewhere, like you can see that where exactly you need to be and how much farther you have to go. And it just kind of like keeps you pushing. And if you need to, write your why at the top. Like, why do you want $500 a month? And then no matter what happens throughout the day, you know why you're doing this business every single day. And that's the bottom line. So I just basically word vomited on all of you guys, right? Like I just gave you so much information, and I did record this. So I'm going to try and figure out how to post this link because it's saving to the cloud. But tomorrow or whenever you can come back, and if you want to watch this again, you can pause it, fast forward, whatever you want to do. But the way that I work my business, it seems like I just did a lot of information, right? I work 2 hours a day, typically an hour and a half, to be totally honest. And I work them in power hours, because if I did 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there. If I was just scrolling on Facebook, like I'm not working when I'm scrolling. So I just, you know, if you're like sitting there just scrolling and liking through pictures, you're not really working. I mean, if you are liking pictures, you're business building. But if you're just scrolling and reading stuff and then you forget, like you're not working. So I used to think like, holy crap, I just worked, you know, almost all day and I didn't sign one person. This is so time consuming. If I did 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, 20 minutes there, it feels like you're doing so much and getting nowhere. So I work my business in strict power hours. If it is 9 o'clock on the dot, I sit in a dark room, I turn my TV off if my daughter is napping, or I tell my boyfriend like, hey, I'm going to work, keep her, unless, you know, you direly need me, like don't come in. And I will work from 9 till 10 straight, or I will work from 3 till 4 straight. And I do this specifically so I know that I am getting things where they need to be done. And I do this twice a day, whether it's 2 right in a row, or I do 1 in the morning or 1 at night. How I break it up is I set all my posts, I message my likes, I do my follow-ups, I add and I unfollow, I build my relationships. Oh, okay, and then I build relationships. That's in 1 hour. So all that stuff is done. So assuming I had 10 pictures that I posted from the day before, I messaged all my likes, I set my post for my next day. I did all my follow-ups that were, you know, that for people that told me on the 17th of March or the 16th of March or whatever date it is, 16th of March. So I messaged everybody that gave me today as a day. I added and I did my unfollowing, and then I built relationships. And this, I typically build relationships all day long, because we know, like, no matter what, you're going to keep scrolling through social media at random points when you're bored. So I'm just going to keep like liking pictures and commenting, and that's still building your relationships. And my second power hour is only strict cold messages. I send out 100, like I told you, every single day. So I use an entire hour to do that. Typically, I could get out 100 messages in like 25 to 30 minutes because I just copy and paste and I go straight down the list. And then, that's why I say I typically do an hour and a half. I like to do my cold messages first thing in the morning, because then it gives people all day long just to start answering me. So when they log in, yeah. Okay, typically, okay, so Liz made a good point. You can get blocked. I bang out my messages at one time in one shot. Liz always had a really cool thing that she did 10 messages every hour while she was at work. So I mean, she got out at the minimum 80 messages in a day, because she's at work from 9 to 5, assuming that's 8 hours. She did 10 messages every hour. So she's guaranteed to leave the day with 80 messages out. And that's still a really good number of messages. Fortunately, knock on wood, Instagram has never blocked me from sending out 100 messages all in one shot. So that's how I do mine. And then all I do when people start answering me throughout the day is I'm just texting like I'm talking to people. People say like, you know, ask me like, oh, well, what products? And then I send them whatever products I'm talking about. And then all I'm doing is having conversations. So I don't feel like I am doing something every second of the day and I can't focus on other stuff. Because obviously, you know, my daughter is going to take precedent. So typically I like to do them in the morning, because I usually wake up like a morning person, and sometimes my daughter doesn't know, she's not always up before me, or if she's up, I fed her and then she passes out for like another hour or two. And that's when I do, you know, my power hours. So I prioritize, like, I'm not going to do the same power hour every single day, or at the same time every single day, because it will always alter. But I do it this way because when I was at work, or when I was working full time, you just want to make sure like you're still being productive with your business, but you obviously still have a life to live. So this is why I work in power hours. And then every single morning, I know what time I am going to do it based on what I have in my schedule for that day. So yeah, my suggestion is do power hours. They're going to be your savings grace to make you feel like you are being super productive in a very minimal amount of time. Okay, so now I'm going to go read and see in the chat if there's any, or in the page, if there's anything I missed that somebody wanted me to go over. Nope, and it disappeared. Crap. Okay, so Heather asked, damn it, Where'd it go? How to grow. I'm interacting in the groups I'm in, but really haven't gotten any friends. And Instagram seems to be just getting a lot of young people following me. So how do you grow your clients or base over those obstacles? Okay, so that's basically what I said before. Just be mindful of who you're accepting onto your page. If they, most of the time when they're young or they're in high school, they usually have that in their bio. They're like, you know, MCHS with a little heart, you know, and sometimes their graduation year or something. Obviously, you know not to accept them to your page because it's a waste of time. And then how to grow, like I said, you know, add yourself into groups of common interest and talk while you're in there to help build your business. Next, she said, how about to not overflood your news feed? Proper ways to blitz ideas on parties or videos. Okay. Obviously, you're never going to overflood your news feed because not everybody is going to see them. But either way, make sure you're doing your 3-3 rule, because then you're not going to flood them. It's going to be a life post, product post, whatever post, and none of your product posts should touch, because then it's going to look too salesy, too ItWorksy, too just not fun. Proper ways to blitz. This is more on your own comfort zone. I find my own segue in depending on how the conversation is going. Most top income earners, like, they'll just be like, hey, I have a coupon for my business. Would you like one? And because there is, like, if you're local, it does say on there, like, the 30 for the wrap is slashed, and you can sell the wraps that you have on hand to hand for $25, and we call that wrap cash. It's just another way that you can make money in this business. For every 2 customers you get in this business, they give you a wrap reward, which gives you a box of wraps for $25. So normally retail a box of wraps is $99. On our discount, we get them for $59, but every 2 customers gets you a wrap reward for $25 for a full box. So if you kept doing this, then you have, you're going to keep getting, you know, $75 in profit if you kept selling those out. So that's pretty cool. I just blitzed somebody, Amanda and I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade, and she had came up to me to compliment. I was wearing like little like portable shot glasses on my shirt, and she came up and started talking to me about them. So I was like, you know, like at the end of the conversation, like, you know, you're really cool. I was like, your personality is super cool. You'd be awesome at what I do. Like, here's my card. I do this business on, you know, on the side or whatever. Obviously I do it full time, but I usually say for an additional income, because primarily nobody, like, I say for an additional income because nobody starts out making like full-time incomes where they can just like join ItWorks and then quit their jobs, and, you know, so I say additional income. And she was like, oh, you know, I think I've seen these things online. And she started like asking me about it. There's really no wrong way to do it, because it's very, very, very unlikely that like you're going to offer somebody a coupon and then they're going to like be like, no, I don't want free stuff. That's ridiculous. They're not going to be mean. They might say, no thanks. Or, you know, oh, my mom does that, or my friend does that. Or at the end of the day, whether they know somebody or not, they're interested, they're just going to fake nice to you. And then that's going to be the end of it. And then you leave like with that like super empowerness, and then you just keep doing it, and it comes more and more natural. And then ideas on online parties or videos. I think that by videos she means live videos. I'm not really sure. Online parties, I've only done one. I did it online. I did a live video party, and I just went through the product pamphlet. You get them in your kits, and I just basically spoke to the information on the products. It like tells you little bullet points right on the product pamphlet. If you aren't familiar with the products, it'll tell you like little like snippets about what each one does, and I just talk about them from there. And that's all I did. I talked about like my why I joined the business and what it's done for me. And then I talked about products that I use personally, what I liked about them and things like that. And auto shipments. I didn't go over this, although I don't know why. I thought I wrote it down, but they're really cool. It helps you be a product of the product, and it helps when you are talking to people about them because you've obviously already used them. We're obviously in the business to make money, not spend money, so they're not required to have, but you can run an 80 BV auto shipment, which is like roughly like usually like a couple products, and then you're always commission qualified with no problems. So I run mine and I change it every month because almost everything we have will last you more than a month. And they're cool because then I have all these products on hand that I can actually talk to verbatim. You know, like when I first started, I'd only used hair, skin, and nails. It was the only product I was really familiar with. I didn't even use the wraps. I just used hair, skin, and nails. So I started getting greens, and I've basically been using greens for the last however long until I got pregnant, and then I had to stop. And then when I got pregnant is when I switched to our skincare line, fell in love with our skincare line. So it's an easy way to keep like alternating products. And when somebody says like, well, what's your favorite product? Well, I don't know. I've been in it for 6 months and I've never used anything, like, and that's fine. You could just be like, well, I didn't use the cleanse, but my teammate did, and A, B, and C happened. And then you could speak to that. But sometimes it's a little bit more powerful when you have your own testimony, especially when you're working with your warm market. Because your warm markets are the first people that are going to say like, well, when you use it, let me know how you like it. They're going to be the first ones to say it. And whenever I got that response, I'm like, well, girl, I started a week ago. I'm not going to be able to try everything. Like, I have my wraps and I like those. I use hair, skin, and nails and I like that. Like, so I just speak to like what other people have had experiences with. So that's auto shipments. They're cool. Okay, and then that's it. So the last thing I'm going to say before we get off is stop getting discouraged in 5 seconds. You can't join this business and then you're a week in and freak out because you're not where you want to be. This is not a get rich quick scheme. So it's funny because a lot of people think that this is like such a terrible business and it's so bad because you have to pay $99 to get in, but then people pay $99 and then they're like, well, why is my commission check not $500? Well, did you actually do $500 worth of work? Probably not. And you got in and you freaked out in 7 days, like, or in 7 minutes, like, oh my gosh, nobody's liking my post. Maybe this isn't for me. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, my friends think I'm being annoying. Like, I can't do this. I'm freaking out. And I get these messages all the time from people. You just need to literally take a breath and realize it's a business. It takes time. Think of yourself. Always put yourself in that perspective. How long did you watch? How long were you considering this? Did you literally see your enrollers post and you're like, oh my God, I need those wraps? Yes, I don't know what they are and I don't care what they cost, but I need them. Or did you watch? Did you look around? Did you watch things? Did you consider it? Did you talk? Did you ask questions? Did you come back? Did you go? Did you come back? Like, just take a breath. They will come. Even when people say no, I call it saying not now because they always come back. So just breathe. You are going to be fine. You got over the hill. The hard part's over. You paid the $100. Now make yourself your money back. That's all it is. Just staying consistent, doing your 3-3 rule, messaging your people and following up, and then constantly adding more people. You can't market yourself to the same 100 people you had when you started. So just take a breath and remember why you started. If you started because you want to come home in a year to be with your kids, keep remembering that. If you want to go to Aruba really bad and it's $3,000 for that all-inclusive hotel, keep remembering that. If you want to buy that house, keep remembering that. And then when somebody tells you you're being annoying, all right, so pay for my vacation, buy my next house, pay my phone bill. If they aren't going to do any of those things, then shove it, because you're not going to pay my bills. You're not going to make my money. They don't matter. You did this for a reason, and don't let anybody take it away from you. Don't let yourself get discouraged. And that's how I'm going to end it. If I had a mic, I would just drop it. Okay. I'm just being silly. But that's all I got for you guys. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you had like some aha moments in this. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And if you have any questions, you can come to Diamonds in the Making and ask anything there. And you guys know I'm always around to help. But I am going to stop recording.